Have you ever thought of visiting a country where your daily life will be overshadowed by violence and uncertainty? If not, stick around, as we're going to take you to Venezuela, which is now considered the most dangerous country on this planet Earth due to its ever-increasing homicide and crime rates. In this video, we'll explore the reasons behind Venezuela's reputation as one of the world's most dangerous countries and discover how its people navigate their daily lives in the midst of such a disorder. Venezuela has now become a country where a dark undercurrent of violence, instability, and economic crisis chaos shapes the lives of its people. Through this video, our goal is to find out the roots of the crisis and explore its effects on everyday individuals. We'll witness how these resilient people navigate through uncharted territory and face extraordinary obstacles. Let's plunge into the struggles and resilience of the Venezuelan people. Venezuela's homicide rates are among the highest in the world. In 2014, the Venezuelan Violence Observatory reported an estimated homicide rate of 54 per 100,000 people. Despite the government's claims of a decrease, alternative assessments continue to show disturbingly high numbers. Why are these numbers so high? In this nation, a dark cloud of violence hangs over the land, with incidents of kidnappings, robberies, and assaults casting a shadow on the daily lives of its people. What factors contribute to this rise in violence? There has been a notable rise in kidnappings, with both locals and foreigners being targeted at airports, hotels, and even in taxis. The political landscape in Venezuela is marked by constant volatility, characterized by frequent demonstrations and confrontations between government forces and the public. How does this political instability impact daily life and safety? The current state of the economy is highly concerning, characterized by skyrocketing inflation, critical scarcities of essential products, and a healthcare system on the verge of collapse. What are the consequences of such economic turmoil? The instability only serves to worsen the crime rate, as desperate individuals resort to illegal activities in order to make ends meet. Official crime statistics have not been released by the government since 2005, which has made it challenging to understand the extent of the problem entirely. Why is there a lack of transparency in crime statistics? Organizations such as the OVV heavily rely on statistical models to estimate crime rates. However, the lack of transparency poses a significant challenge in effectively addressing this issue. In the face of dire economic circumstances, a staggering number of Venezuelans, totaling over 7.7 million individuals, have sought refuge outside their homeland. What is the impact of such a mass exodus? The mass migration serves as both a reflection and a catalyst of the instability, as it involves the departure of professionals and skilled workers who are crucial for upholding public order and essential services. Caracas has reportedly surpassed San Pedro Sula in Honduras to claim the title of the most violent country in the world. How did Caracas reach this point? This development highlights a notable change in the levels of homicide in urban areas across Latin America. In 2014, Caracas claimed the unfortunate distinction of being named the most violent city in the world. This title was bestowed upon it by the annual ranking of the world's 50 most violent cities, published by the Citizens Council for Public Security and Criminal Justice, a Mexican non-governmental organization. In 2015, Caracas saw a slight increase in its homicide rate, with approximately 120 murders per 100,000 people. This translates to a total of 3,946 murders in a city with an approximate population of 3.3 million inhabitants. In the bustling city of San Pedro Sula in Honduras, which had held the unenviable position of topping the list for several years, there was a noticeable decline in the murder rate. From approximately 170 in 2014, the number dropped to 111 in 2015. What factors contributed to the decline in San Pedro Sula's murder rate? In 2017, a new study revealed the alarming reality of a particular capital city, highlighting the ongoing violence that plagues Latin America, making one of the most dangerous regions on Earth. Latin America and the Caribbean have been identified as regions with a high prevalence of violence, as highlighted by the Citizens Council for Public Safety and Criminal Justice. Among the countries that stand out in this regard are Brazil, Mexico, and Venezuela, which have a significant presence in the list of the world's most violent cities. It has become increasingly challenging to determine Venezuela's murder rate. According to the study, the government has refrained from sharing official data and the local media has not been providing comprehensive reports. This has resulted in a situation where the nation is unable to determine the number of casualties accurately. Why is the government withholding crime data? Furthermore, With the ongoing mass exodus from Venezuela, the accuracy of population estimates has been compromised, potentially leading to the underreported murder rates. Despite the absence of any outright wars, the Western Hemisphere continues to be the most dangerous region in the world. Venezuela has been plagued by severe shortages of food and medicine, forcing its people to resort to desperate measures. What are the human consequences of these shortages? In a recent report released by Human Rights Watch, it was revealed that a significant number of Venezuelans are grappling with the harsh reality of being unable to afford or obtain necessities. This dire situation has unfortunately resulted in a surge of theft and violent crime, as individuals are forced to resort to extreme measures in order to survive. In this tale of scarcity, the once abundant essential goods have become a rare commodity, giving birth to a clandestine market where prices soar to unimaginable heights. In the shadowy land of this illicit trade, power lies in the hands of ruthless criminal syndicates who resort to brutal tactics to ensure their grip remains unyielding. Since 2015, an astounding number of over 7 million Venezuelans have sought refuge in other countries, compelled by the dire economic and political crisis that has engulfed their homeland. Why are so many Venezuelans fleeing their country? This staggering figure, reported by the UN Refugee Agency, highlights the magnitude of the situation. As a consequence of this mass migration, communities have become fragmented, causing the separation of numerous families and the weakening of social structures. Many individuals who stay behind often experience displacement within their own country as a result of violence and economic challenges. This unfortunate situation leaves them more vulnerable and exposed to criminal activities. The Venezuelan judiciary is riddled with corruption and inefficiency. Why is the judiciary so corrupt? It is unfortunate that some judges and court officials can be influenced by bribery, and that political factors sometimes play a role in shaping judicial outcomes. The absence of objectivity and equity erodes confidence in the legal system, enabling criminals to escape accountability. The judicial system is grappling with an inundation of cases, resulting in substantial delays in legal proceedings. Countless crimes remain unsolved over long periods, leaving victims without the closure they seek, and perpetuating a never-ending cycle of violence and revenge. In the crumbling social services, including the dire lack of mental health support, a profound sense of hopelessness engulfs the population. How does a lack of mental health support contribute to violence? Countless individuals grappling with trauma or mental health challenges are left without access to the care they desperately need, resulting in a surge of violent and unpredictable behavior. In today's society, the once strong foundations of community support have unfortunately eroded, leaving many neighborhoods under the influence of gangs instead of the trusted guidance of community leaders. There is a breakdown in social cohesion, which creates an environment conducive to the flourishing of crime and violence. The situation in Venezuela is a tragic combination of systemic failures and human suffering. The country's decline is perpetuated by rampant violence, economic challenges, and political instability, which create a feedback loop. Contrary to the government's assertions of progress, the situation for numerous Venezuelans is marked by apprehension and a lack of clarity. Without accurate crime data and transparency, it becomes more difficult to fully understand the severity of the crisis and find practical solutions. The mass departure of millions underscores the profound desperation experienced by those seeking refuge, while those who remain endure worsening living conditions and heightened susceptibility to criminal activity.